Uncanny Podcast, episode 698. Here we are.
Feeling
better than ever?
Not so great.
Not so great. Sarah is having a terrible day.
I am. No, it's not
I'm
terrible.
So sorry.
It's heavy on my heart.
Yeah.
That's whatever you want to call it. There's probably a 90% chance of me crying in this episode.
Yeah.
At any given episode, there's about a 30 to 50% chance of that.
Yeah.
So this is only a little bit more than the usual. But it seems as though our beloved mascot, Bo, may be heading towards her final days.
Yeah. I mean, she really hung on for a long time, though.
Right. A long, long time. You know, and I think sometimes you can feel like dogs are doing it just for you. And I feel like there's a little bit of that.
No way.
And like,
do you feel that?
Well, there's just, she's so attached. You know, it's like I leave to go, come here and do the show. And she just stays in the entryway, like in front of the door. The whole time.
No.
The whole time. Eli cannot get her upstairs.
I can't have a dog.
She used to be like playful, running around, all that. She's just like, it's sad. I have to carry her up the stairs. Sometimes her back legs are giving out. It's like she's in kidney failure and it's time I gotta.
Sarah and I have a running joke about how Bo won't die. Like whenever there was that dog that they announced like a month or two ago that was the oldest dog, not just like right now, but like ever in the history of time. And its name was Bobby.
Yeah. Was
it Bobby? And we were convinced that this is Bo's like relative because they're both from Mexico. They hail from Mexico or something. And Bo has lived like 7 years longer than she was supposed to.
Insane. I feel like I'm an extra innings,
Yeah.
It's like this baseball game is in its like 21st inning. And it's like, oh, can we go home? All the players are so tired.
It doesn't make it easier, though, because you have a bond.
Yeah. And the thing that
she's your girl.
I don't know if Bo probably doesn't know this, but we have, like, it's taken a real bad turn this past week where it's just been not good. And Eli and I are going to Florida next week. And my heart, like, cannot take the idea of me leaving her for 8 days and anything happening in that time. Like, I don't know if it's selfish or the kind thing to do, like to say goodbye to her before she thinks I just disappeared in her and left her in her, she is having trouble standing and checks every single box for stage 4 kidney failure.
Yeah.
Every single box. Bad breath even. All of a sudden that got really bad. It's because they can't work out any of the toxins, ulcers in her mouth. Like, but then she's like wagging her tail and and that's the hardest part because they're like,
we do not deserve dogs.
We do not. That
is so sweet.
They are just like the most loving and the most kind in the whole entire universe. And
when you're in that situation and you go to the vet, do they give it to you straight or do they have to just be like, beat around the bush?
I think they give it to you straight. The good thing is I have 2 friends who are vets. I have one friend that's a vet tech and I have one friend that's a vet. And then my cousin is a vet. And so I am surrounded by people who will give it to me straight. And they've all been pretty like, time to go, Sarah. And it's so hard. Then I feel like I'm being selfish because I'm like,
Well, they have a tough job though. I don't even know how they do it because they can't talk.
Right.
These animals. So
there's what I was up very late last night looking up, like, how do you know these
options,
things, and like, what are the things that, and a lot of vets said what they felt was really hard for people was when they waited too long and the dog, and then they have to say goodbye to the dog, and their last memories of the dog are when it's in so much pain, and it's just so hard. And so like giving her a nice little send off and is not, but there, everything also, there's like a checklist. It was called a vet can do an assessment of quality of life. And so it feels like it's pretty everything. Like, is your dog engaging in the same activities that it used to? Do you have to assist your dog in things like mobility things that, and it's like, check, every single one. And then I'm just like being selfish, and
you should give yourself grace here. I mean, that's what love does.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose your best buddy.
Yeah.
So of course you want to keep Bo here if you can.
Yeah. So I think this weekend we're gonna have a little party and then a little going away party.
Yes. Well, you remember how on Brain Candy we talked about those people that have their funeral before they die? And we're like, these are narcissists. These are not good people. And I'm like, when you said that you were going to have a party, I'm like, I know Bo wouldn't even ask for one.
She wouldn't.
She's not selfish like
that's
that.
The exact person you want to give it to. So we're going to have a going away party.
Speech and stuff?
The ultimate going away party. I had friends who were like, already were like, I'm so sorry this is happening. We'll be with her, and
I think that's a really nice idea.
Yeah. So
it's very sweet.
And then I could say goodbye, and then I could go be with family in Florida to feel better.
Oh my God, Sarah, I'm so sorry.
So yeah, that's where we are today.
I'm so sorry. Anybody that's lost a pet knows that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has the feeling of like, this isn't the same as if a human gets sick or whatever, but it sure as heck feels the same when you love.
Does, and it feels different because you don't, well, sometimes you do, but like okay, here's where it gets extra difficult. We talk about the brain under stress, and the brain when it's in an emotional place becomes worse at making decisions. And you get that decision fatigue. And you have to make
and your IQ drops.
The ultimate decision here. Mm-hmm. Everything is like depleting my dopamine and serotonin, and then I need all that to be at healthy levels in order for me to feel okay about this decision. And those two things aren't compatible. Like having to, so you're just not going to feel okay about it in the moment, and do it the best that you can do. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you think you're doing really well.
Thank you.
And you should not be hard on yourself about any of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah. The good thing is there's so many people who are supportive, all you Brain Candy brainiacs included.
Oh. Yeah.
Speaking of which, shout out to my new friend Taylor, Brainiac, that I met the other night. Who
you met her?
Yeah. I went to my favorite restaurant to go to trivia, the place that I won. I was defending my title.
It was fixed. She fixed it, didn't she?
No, she wasn't even there last week.
I was defending my title. Oh my God, you went back.
Yeah, I went back to defend my title.
Hilarious.
And unfortunately, the guy who hosted was sick. And then they got really busy at the restaurant. And I was like, girl, do you need me to take over and host this? And she's like, I totally would, but we can't find the plug to plug in the amp. I was this close to.
Sarah was like, my voice carries.
Yeah, I should have. I'd be like, no problem. I got you. And then Eli looked at me. He's like, Sarah, stop volunteering yourself for more jobs. You don't need to work anymore. Play trivia. You don't need to host it. But I go in there and she was like really shocked. And she goes, I'm a brain candy. No, she didn't even say brain candy. She said, I'm a brainiac. And I was like, what? Can we hug across the bar? And she's like, yeah, I'm the one who sent you the referral for the chiropractor. So shout out to Taylor, my new favorite bartender at Ginger Pig in Denver, which is my favorite place to do trivia. And if you want to come be on my trivia team, oh my gosh, Ginger Pig, Tuesday nights, 7:30. Team Brainiac.
Wow, this is a real emotional roller coaster episode.
It really
today.
is. I had to do.
Wow,
I had to
I'll
pick
meet
myself
you where
back
you
up.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, well here we are. We are excited. I hope people do come and join your team because let me tell you, they will not be disappointed.
They will not. We're going to have a team that's so big, and they're going to have to break it into multiple teams.
Yeah, you're going to take over.
Yeah, like oh, for goodness sakes.
I mean, we love trivia almost as much as we love wild grain bread. Am I right or am I right?
You know that I love something when, like, I want people to know this is something I pay for. My hard-earned money. This is like not like, oh, they give Sarah free wild grain. Nope. I was like, this is freaking delicious.
Yeah.
And it is such a great, like, addition to a meal that makes you feel like you're at a restaurant at home. Like we had a wonderful pasta night the other night where we invited like 2 or 3 other couples came over and we all made pasta. And that, of course, you can only make so much. You were feeding a whole room. So luckily I had my wild grain fresh pasta. Let me tell you, tasted just as good, if not better, than the one that I made myself with my friend right there. And then we had our delicious bread to go with it. And we had somebody staying at our house. And the next morning we woke up and all had those amazing croissants.
It's the best service. These bread and pastries and pastas come frozen. You just put it in your freezer. And then anytime you want it, you just get it out and you make it straight from frozen. Yes. And so in like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you have fresh baked bread or pasta or pastries, croissants, whatever. And it is high quality stuff. They use a low slow fermentation process, so it's easier on your belly, lower in sugar and tons of nutrients and antioxidants. But like I always say, I'm just in it for the taste. It is phenomenal. Plus for a limited time, so it's wildgrain.com/braincandy. And for a limited time, you can get $30 off the first box plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy to start your subscription. You heard us. Yeah. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy. That's wildgrain.com/braincandy, or you can use promo code braincandy at checkout.
And let me tell you, I did the math on what it would have cost if we went out and got croissants that morning, like at a bakery. I mean, the free croissants are like already halfway.
I know. They're so valuable.
Like, I like doing this kind of math. I love feeling like I'm getting a deal.
And it's just nice to have. Yeah. So we don't steer you wrong. So shout out to Taylor. I'm so glad you have a friend.
Yes.
Okay. What do we want to start with today? Would you like me to chat or you to chat?
I do want to tell you this story about an experience that I had in Target that went not at all how I thought it was going to go. So I'm in Target the other day in Denver, right outside Denver. And there was a man who was housing insecure and inside Target and having a really tough time. And I saw 2 of the security officers, like and that one of them is plain clothed and they look like cool guys. One of them looks like a heart, like he's a member of like Hell's Angels or something. He was like in a motorcycle vest. He was like cool looking. And they go up to him and they're like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And I was like kind of standing by like, oh gosh, are they going to kick him out? Is this?
Yeah.
The opposite of that happened. Oh, I could cry right now. They were like, "Hey, you want to talk for a bit? We have a care package for you." Like, oh, this really is an emotional roller coaster of an episode. Highs and lows. Whoa, baby. But they brought him. They were like, "We got some stuff. We got some like Target will give people like care packages and take care of them."
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the sweetest thing. I was like, this is the opposite. I in that moment wrote down like, got to talk about this. And also got like, if Target didn't already get my vote for like the best place to shop for all my stuff, not an ad.
Yeah.
But
well, that is great business too.
it was so sweet.
It does make you want to support them.
And just like nobody was, they weren't doing it like performative.
Yeah.
Like that there's somebody in the store, like they have it set up to where they will help people. And the guy was like, yeah, I could really use that. And I was like, oh, a person moment. I'm dying. And then it made it, I don't know why, it just felt like, and one of the guys who's part of that security team was in a wheelchair. So it felt like this was just like, this is so beautiful.
It's sort of like on Curb Your Enthusiasm, whenever Larry David pitches to Netflix, they always have a team of Netflix employees. And I pitched
so
it
funny.
It is exactly what it's like. Whereas there's like one person in a wheelchair, one person is like, you know, a person of color, whatever. And they have like all this representation. And in the meeting, the guy was like, yeah, they loved it. And Larry goes, they or they? Like meaning plural, or somebody is identifying as they. But I can understand why you would feel like that.
I'm like, we got
Target was
a guy in a wheelchair who's like facing his own, knows what it's like, you know, to be discriminated against. And then we've got guy who's like old Harley Davidson motorcycle guy with his like long ponytail who's like looks like the wrong side of the tracks,
like
but really so good.
Sweetheart.
Like, yeah. I'm like, this is the sweetest thing. I'm like, how do I become a Target spokesperson? Because this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I think you just did it.
I think so too.
Did I tell you this? This is like the flip side of what you just told. Did I don't feel like I told you the story.
Tell me.
We only have one car, so we have to coordinate a lot. And I had taken Adam to the dentist. Did I tell you this?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay. I took Adam to the dentist. I dropped him off. Then I had to go get Link at school.
Yes.
And then,
about the guy. Okay. But not on here. Tell it.
Okay.
Yes. It's coming back to me.
So I pick up Lincoln at school and we go to get Adam at the dentist. And he's all done with getting his filling. And he's waiting in the parking lot by the sign. And he gets in the car and he goes, you're not going to believe what happened. And what happened was, as he was waiting there for me, maybe 5 minutes, this guy came across the street and accused Adam of videotaping his children, like being a child predator.
Strangest thing.
And not only that, called the police.
Adam.
And the police came. And instead of just leaving like a sane person, because I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. This is not where I want to be. Because he wasn't doing anything wrong. So he had no obligation to engage or whatever. But he instead, because Adam is like principled and all annoying, he's like, no, I have nothing to hide. I felt like I should talk to the police. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. But okay. And then the police was like, do you mind
know my
if I
rule?
look at
Don't
your
cater
phone?
to crazy. That's catering to crazy.
That is, I'm writing that down. Don't cater to crazy, because that is a good thing motto.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Adam showed him like his phone to prove he had no videos on there and stuff like that.
Could you imagine?
I mean,
well, and say the thing that you said that really is the.
You mean about how these people are like brainwashed
and check how many
by all the
times.
QAnon
and like say that.
Yeah, Adam was like to the policeman, go have a look in their file and see how many times they've contacted the police about like stuff like this, suspicious people, and then look and see how many times I've done it or how many times people have called the police on me.
Right.
And then I think you'll see.
Because the dentist office, didn't they say like, oh yeah, those guys, we know that guy. Them. Like if you have a reputation in the neighborhood.
Right. For being that guy. Anyway.
I'm so sorry that he got wrongly accused of pedophilia.
Wrongly accused. I know. And it's one of those things like in the moment you leave and you're like, what? That was crazy. But then you keep thinking about it because it's obviously if someone accused you of that, it really does upset you.
Please, if somebody thinks that I cut them off or did something like it, traffic-wise that I felt like they don't have the full story. I feel like I need to like follow them and explain. Like,
Somebody tweeted that instead of giving the finger, their husband, is that you who posted
but I
that?
saw this and it's so good.
I love it. They give the thumbs down and it's like makes people even more mad. I want to do that.
It's just like, I disapprove. That's what, like, and I do it to myself, like out in the car, whenever somebody's speeding, I'm always like, too fast, sir, too fast. Like everybody in the car, the guys like zoom gone by. So I think I'm going to definitely adapt the thumbs down disapproval. Cause like we're at that late, at that age too, where now we're like, you know, you're elders.
I think that it shouldn't even just be in the car. I just want to do it to people in real life. Like,
could you imagine?
You know, if I'm mad, I'm going to start
they're
doing
rude
it.
or something, and you're just like, don't put the cart back, the grocery cart back, drive by and just thumbs down them.
Yeah.
Oh, you could definitely change people's behavior with a good thumbs down.
Okay. Also, did you see where someone said that the Muppets should host the Oscars?
That was me that posted that. I didn't say that, but I reposted that. Genius.
I wanted to say that is why isn't anyone
doing that? Like, we need a Muppets revival, which should be the name of their like
right, their next phase. Yeah. Yes, I love this idea. So anyway, I'll thumbs up that one.
Totally thumbs up. There was something else with the disapproving of people, and can't remember what it was. Anyways, who knows?
I just like the idea that we could bring our judgment into more.
Oh yeah,
you know, like I want to be more judgy. Is that wrong? Don't answer. Yeah, boo! I'm booing you because people are weird, and I'm sick of it.
Oh, this is what I was going to say. There was that was it. I know there was a story that I meant to tell you a while back. I don't have a ton on it, but I read that a judge in where was it? In Canada, which makes total sense. No, actually, maybe it's the opposite. Now said that it's your God-given right to give people the middle finger.
Really?
Yes. That the middle finger is protected under the country's Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
What do you think? Should that be? Oh, okay.
You have the right. Could you imagine if you didn't have the right to give somebody the finger? Who can? Come on.
Well, yeah, because it's not considered like an act of violence,
right?
It's not.
Right? You're not like flashing them. It's not like you're. What is somebody going to do? Because you can say
limits
fuck
on profanity,
but
that's what I wonder though.
And also, if you make it so you can't give the finger or like that isn't allowed, then what if you are somebody who signs? And what if you do ASL? Can I sign? Fuck off.
Yeah, right.
So where's the line?
Same diff. Yeah.
Right.
Same
thank you, Judge in Canada. We all now have the right to give the middle finger or the thumbs down to anybody we want.
And I'm going to give the thumbs up to Thrive Cosmetics. How about you?
Absolute. Let me tell you what I've discovered as an elder.
Yeah.
Brown eyeliner.
Really?
Ditch your black. Don't use that.
Get out of here.
Don't use it. It's making you look old. I don't know why, but I think it is. Because here's the trick.
What if I'm like, that's my problem?
You do, and especially for people who like either you wear a lot of makeup, you don't wear makeup. It's great. That eyeliner from Thrive that has the little smudgy end. Who knew that little teeny tiny tip with the sponge could do everything that you need it to do? Draw a line right on the lash line, and you just smudge up. It gives you the perfect lined look that looks so natural, but just.
Wow,
I can't believe it took me 37 years, and I would have never bought it if they didn't give me like I got like a little trial size of like a brown one. I would have never. I always go to black. Bought the
me too.
I will never ever turn back.
Whoa, okay, I'm trying it. The Infinity Waterproof eyeliner.
Yes, Infinity Waterproof eyeliner in the brown. And then they have those little highlighter sticks. They're called. And they have
Brilliant Eye Brightener.
The eye brightener. They have something in it that works like with ring lights and with the lights that you use on your camera. So it'll like make you look all smooth. So I use that eye brightener and the brown liner, and then their amazing Bryn, I think is what it's called, mascara.
Yeah, I use the Liquid Lash Extensions mascara. phenomenal products. This is a face by Thrive. So thank you, Thrive Cosmetics. They have a deal for our listeners. Now is a great time to try Thrive Cosmetics for yourself. Right now, you get 15% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 15% off your first order. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay, the judge said we can give the finger. That is good. One thing I was just thinking about briefly, I was thinking about, old gossip like I do.
Like you do.
And there's this famous story about when Christopher Reeve was injured and became paralyzed by the falling off that horse. And I believe he could move from the neck up, And so he was in the hospital and the doctor came in and told him to roll over. And he was like trying to communicate like, hello, I obviously can't do that, dummy. And the doctor insisted. And then all of a sudden, Christopher realized that it was Robin Williams. And he laughed. And it was the first time he had laughed since the accident. And it was that moment that he realized that he could survive, that he could handle it. Because before that, he had wanted to take his life because he didn't think it would be worth living. And so that's supposed to be this beautiful story of like Robin showing that laughter can be hope and allow you to continue. And so then when I was thinking about Robin's death, I was saddened thinking like, I wish he had felt that same sense of like how levity can bring survival. And it kind of reminded me of, do you remember that comedian that died by suicide a few years ago? His name was, I think it was Brody Stevens. And that was his whole comedic brand, was like yelling at the audience about how they needed to be happier and like no negativity allowed. It was like a positive thing. And it's almost like people that need it the most tend to be the ones that like insist that you...
We've talked about this in different ways in our early episodes. There was a study that we discussed where people who post inspirational messages tend to be the ones that need them the most.
They're struggling. Yeah. And that makes sense. I think Robin was very convincing, though, all that up until the end, really. Seeming like he embraced that for himself too.
Yeah. I think it's really hard when your identity is being the one that provides the relief and provides the, that
inspiration.
Yeah.
And stuff.
To live life. And if you feel like you can no longer do that, and that's such a big part of who you are, or you feel like the disease that you have is preventing you, and you can see that I am going to lose the thing that is what brings joy to other people, that it would be so difficult.
Or makes me valuable.
Yeah, that makes me valuable. Yeah. Because in that situation, it's like Robin Williams is almost telling Christopher Reeves, like, you're still valuable. And he believes, and he was able to believe it. But I think it would be hard for somebody who is that inspiring person to then be convinced that they still have value when they see that's going away.
Yeah.
He would need somebody who is so inspirational and so like maybe in their own, like a Christopher Reeve to inspire him,
Yeah. Because his wife did say that he had Lewy body disease, and I think that has an element of paranoia. And so it probably did alter his perception of reality and stuff too. But just to, that story just simply put on paper, I was just like, it's a shame that he wasn't able to get that from somewhere in the same way. I don't know, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
On my mind.
It's
because he's on a lot of the clips of the Tonight Show that I watch. So Robin Williams was a fixture, and I mean that guy was something.
He really was. He was
like, it would drive me nuts. It's hard for me to watch because it's like too much.
Even his comedy, his stand-up is difficult. It's like all over the place.
Half the time I don't even get the joke. It's just that him doing it is funny. But anyway.
So good. I watched the Joan Rivers one, which I'm so excited we're going to do for our documentary club. If you guys have not joined our documentary club, I highly, highly encourage it. It is so much fun. We meet every month and we watch a documentary and then talk about it. And this month, Susie picked a great one, the Joan Rivers. What is the
Piece of Work?
And
yeah, I'm sort of dreading it a little bit because I know it's going to be a big debate about her style of comedy, her fashion and commentary on the way people look. And, you know, even cancel culture, I'm sure, will be a topic, and whether she would be even allowed to do those jokes now. But I don't know. I'm just nervous.
That other side of the community, like the thing that drives them, and the need to perform, and the need to get that validation, and the need to
be loved.
Yeah, to be loved. And even when there is like love and acceptance, there's almost a rejection of that because like that is their motivation. I need to keep going because everybody doubts
It's never enough.
Yeah. And if I accept that it's enough, then they stop. You know, there's like this feeling like maybe subconsciously that what will motivate me then?
Well, I mean, it's sort of what you were saying about Robin too. I mean, and we always talk about on the show of where you see your identity, you know, how you see yourself, and if you matter, if you're not pretty anymore, if you're not young anymore, if you're not successful anymore, or whatever. And, you know, entertainers are always like, it's easier to see it in them because it's pretty desperate.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we know because we love attention too. There is this like, it's kind of cringy sometimes, but it'll be fun to talk about. She's an interesting gal. That's for sure. Okay. I'm going to talk about something else, but before I do, I want to talk about Chime. I've talked about it a million times. I always try to emphasize what I know to be true, which is that finances take up a huge part of everybody's mental real estate, and it can be very stressful. You and I were talking about, even with like the beginning of the year, it feels like everybody got scared.
Yeah.
Like the holidays were over and then it was just like, wait, you know, with all those financial chaos that is happening right now.
Right.
Yeah. And so with Chime Secured Credit Builder via Visa credit card, you can start building your credit with your own money, which I know is empowering for a lot of people. And members see an increase of 30 points to their credit scores on average, which is a lot. No annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. Start making your financial dreams a reality with Chime. Sign up only takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/braincandy. That's chime.com/braincandy. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA. Chime checking account and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Based on a study conducted by Experian Credit Builder, members observed an average 30-point FICO score, 8 increase after 8 months with regular on-time payments. Results may vary. See chime.com for details. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply except at MoneyPass ATMs and a 7-Eleven or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Chime. That's my only thing I hate about you is that I have to say all that.
I love it. I want to do it. And I want to see how fast I could do it.
Yeah, we should have a contest.
That sounds like so much fun.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, carry on. Let's see. What were we saying? Okay. How about how I read that this guy in England found a lottery ticket in his car that was a winning ticket for $550,000.
What? Check your pockets, people.
Honestly.
Hey, is there a time in which you have to turn in a lottery ticket by? Oh, No.
Yeah, 1 year you get.
Did he make it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, thank God.
He did.
Oh, thank God.
But he said, thank God that he the guy at the place told him, clean out your car before we get in there. And he was so glad that he said that because he probably wouldn't have found it.
The guy at what
It was
place?
up on the car wash.
Oh, the car wash. So we went to the car wash, and the car wash is, oh man, he's so lucky. They could have done a little like vacuum to sweep that thing up. That would have been trash in my mind. That's going right in the garbage.
Yeah, it was under the sun visor.
Oh,
when he pulled it down.
My God.
I wish that would happen.
I'm like, where's what's the gal got to do?
Well, first we have to buy lottery tickets.
How many like piss full diapers from my dog do I have to clean before like it clicks over into like
tips the scale?
Yeah, tips the scale, and they're like, "Oh, here you go," because it seems like not really.
Honestly, I was thinking back in my mind the last time I had like something good happen. And it was years.
Zeus.
And I don't mean like day to day.
Right.
Like there's little things to be thankful for every day. But in terms of like a really stroke of good luck, years.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the cheese box that showed up at my house the other day that you delivered felt like the best luck I had. I was like
a windfall.
Already having like a crummy day. Yeah. And
I sent Sarah cheese.
Let me tell you, you really want to turn somebody's day around. You send them cheese. And it's the kind of cheese where like they hand wrote it's like such a small batch kind where it's like handwritten the kind on there. I'm like, oh my God. I told Eli, I was like, don't you dare touch this cheese without me or I will break your hands off.
Yeah.
I mean, little crackers with like flowers in them. Stop it. So,
well, this is something I think people forget is like, people, they send flowers or whatever or use like a national company to have a gift delivered. But I really do love using like local vendors. And that's your local cheese shop. And these cheesemongers there were so nice and were like asking me what I wanted in there and stuff. It was so nice.
Well, I'm going back there.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Thank you. That is so sweet. That is so kind.
I mean, who doesn't love cheese? Am I right?
Not me. I mean, yes, me. Whatever the right answer to that is.
Yeah. You're so right. Like, if you want to turn somebody's day around,
for real,
give them some cheese.
I was like, this is, because then it felt like, I can now give myself a little time. I'm going to put a little cheese platter together. There's going to be a glass of wine with that.
Yeah.
It's
I'm making days over here.
Making days. I mean, it's probably going to be how I join our live Q&A this afternoon. Just like, cheesy as all heck.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping we get a lottery. I don't buy lottery tickets though, because you know how they call it a tax on the stupid, or whatever. Because
every now and then it is fun. I'll do it.
It is fun,
and like I like the process of picking the numbers, and I'm always like one that I pick, and then one random, and we'll see.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, you can pick. You can like decide. Which how you want to do it. Like they do it for you.
Okay.
And you pick it based on like, this is my birthday and this is the day that this, and this is how old I was. Whatever it is.
That's real cute.
I have a story for you, or like because I was listening to some of our past episodes, like you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've been real into penis stories lately.
I noticed that.
So I have another one for you.
Oh, okay, great.
Scientists have determined the actual number or line to classify people as growers or showers.
Oh, yes. I want to know.
And this is actually more necessary than you'd think it is. Because at first you're like, why the fuck do we care about this? But the doctor in the article was saying that when it comes to surgeries and when they have to make decisions about what to do and know what is normal, how normal functioning, there is a difference in the structure of a penis for a grower versus a shower.
Tell me.
So 24% of men are growers, or I'll say 24% of people with penises are growers, and 25% are showers, and 51% fall somewhere in between. And what they did is they used some sort of substance or drug or something that made you have an erection. And then they measured like the before and after, and then put that on a bell curve, and were able to see like what is the measurement for that. And if the penis grows, I think it was by like 31%, then you're considered a shower. And if it grows by more than like 50%, you're considered a grower. And
I truly thought there really wasn't even such a thing as a grower.
There sure is.
I always was like, these guys that say that just have smaller penises and they feel weird about it.
No. What they have is they have a thinner lining of the fibrous tissues that pass blood through the penis and basically make it grow. So it's almost like they're more compact, and then they stretch out, and that's how the blood then flows. Where other ones are already more stretched out to begin with. It's how these fibers kind of arrange themselves in the penis.
Okay, but let's point out something, which is that when someone says they're a shower, which nobody really says that, but the assumption is that they have a bigger than average penis. It's just the way it is, and erect or not, flaccid, they're bigger.
It said that there weren't,
but in this study,
different that when you looked at the erect size, size of an erect penis did not show any difference between like growers and showers. Like there wasn't like, on average, showers have a bigger dick.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This study would call you a shower if your penis was 2 inches long and then you get a boner and it's still 2 inches, then you're a shower. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but when guys say I'm a grower, not a shower, the implication
they're saying I got a big dick waving around between my legs.
No. Well, if they say they're a shower, that's the implication is that like they're big all the time. And when you say you're a grower, not a shower, they're saying they're small, but then they get bigger. Like no one's ever just saying I have a small penis and that's the way it is, except Howard Stern. Howard Stern's
if you're a shower, you know what? You are correct.
I know.
The showers do have longer penises when they're flaccid, measuring around 4.4 inches on average. And growers had smaller flaccid penises at 3.46 inches. Okay, but both categories had similar sized penises when sexually aroused.
So they're trying to say basically that everyone sort of fits into one cat. Like there's not that big of a range, because I'm sure there is.
That 24% growers, 25% showers, and 51% in between.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That are
most people. I get it.
And really, it's to know. Like, I wonder how they would know that. Like, how they would rate this in your, like, when you would need this, and how they would be like, grower. Like,
right. What are the doctors doing where this is coming into the mathematics of it?
Because I get it if there's like some trauma to the area or an accident or something, and like they can't, that's it. If like they need to know. So I think now maybe they can look at like
penis injuries.
I think there are.
You think there are a lot? They just don't talk about it.
I was with somebody who had a traumatic penis injury as a child where he zipped it up in the zipper.
Oh, but was that
7 years
superficial,
old,
or did it
to where the fire department had to come?
Stop.
And could you imagine?
Was the penis stuck in the zipper? Mm-hmm. Okay, that is hideous.
Yeah, like it had to be removed. Like my mom or whoever came into this didn't know what to do. It was like we got to call the ambulance. Like, we got to call 911.
Oh my God. When we've heard of those people who broke their penis.
Yeah.
Because even though it's not a bone, it can be broken. It can be like snapped in half.
Hey, I do not have a penis, but I am clenching that area like I do right now. So I apologize to all the people that are listening to this. And
yeah, those things are fragile. I mean,
but also not.
I know, that's what I don't get. Like, what determines whether it breaks?
I spent a long time being way too delicate. Those, and then I went to like, why? I was like, that's how you handle that thing. So I'm like putting on white gloves and pinky up.
So you were under the impression that you had to be real tender.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Just a nice, polite BJ.
That's so nice of you. You're so elegant.
So elegant. I did have this is funny, but I did have a bad habit. I don't even know if it's a bad habit. It made me laugh. A funny habit of sticking a pinky up, and it felt like I was always giving a very polite BJ.
That's how the British do it.
Yeah, it's like I'm sipping tea. It's how the British do it. Stop it.
Wow. Okay. Well, I do think, there was a New York Times article yesterday about this doctor who experienced that thing during pregnancy where you barf all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like hell.
Yeah, hypermesis.
And after that experience, she was determined to find an answer because she's a physician.
Yeah, tell me.
And well, I didn't read the article, but I assume she's working on it and it knows how important it is, because when she was having that, the doctors would often say it's all in your head, stuff like that. And anyway, my point is just like, why are they studying like growers and showers and all these penis things? And yet pregnant women are like,
Susie,
really
good point.
Going through hell, right? I'm sick of it.
Really good point. I still can't eat ginger because I threw up 30 times plus in one day. And everybody was like, just have ginger candies. Like that was going to cure it. So I did.
Well, yeah, it's always the dumbest ideas.
I'm like, guys.
Well, and I don't know anyone for whom that was like, oh, all I needed was a fucking ginger candy.
Right.
Come on now.
So weird.
But there's so much, like the first time I ever got a migraine was when I was pregnant. And then I've had them ever since, and I never had them before. And mostly women get migraines. And it's another one of those things where if this were mostly men, I feel like this would have been solved.
That migraine. It really is crazy. I've only had one in my entire life, and it was when I was taking care of my mom in Costa Rica after her accident, under all that stress. And holy shit, I am so sorry to anybody who's ever had those. Like I threw up, and like you have to like shut the door. I had no idea. It is straight up debilitating.
Yeah. And if you never had one, it sounds like
it does. The whole I said that back problems and migraines were in my mind. I was like, okay, how bad is it really? And then the first time your back goes out and the first time you have a migraine, it's like, I need to do an apology tour to all the, like, I am so sorry. So sorry.
It's hard to conceptualize a lot of stuff until you experience it.
Yeah.
But
God, one time I was driving, this guy I was dating, his back went out and I was driving him to the doctor and I accidentally spilled my coffee and it spilled on his lap and he went, and it was hot. So he went to like jerk and jump out of the way. And it hurt him. It like hurt so bad because, when you move and you have a back problem, like it's so excruciating. And I remember being like, it's come
Calm
on.
down.
Right. And I'm like, what? Sarah, that was so
Hey,
mean.
live and learn. That's okay.
I'm sorry to him who's probably not listening. Do you imagine?
I want to tell you about the latest trend that makes no sense to me.
Oh, what?
And I don't love it.
No.
It's digging holes.
Okay. Now, I did read a study, something that came out it was a little bit ago, maybe 6 months ago or so, that said digging holes has a very positive effect on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something to this?
Yeah, there is.
Like about burying people or some shit like that.
Oh, I didn't know there was like
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
Reason.
Why is digging holes?
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal, and the title is "Stressed Out? Grab a shovel and dig a hole." Scientists spend a lot of time unearthing what it all means, but park rangers say, "Fill them in when you're done, please."
Oh my God.
Because people are doing this. And there's all these TikToks, I guess, of people being like, "Hey, let's meet down at the fucking wherever and dig holes."
So do you think it's our natural instinct? Like before we had any sort of toilet situation as modern people, do you think that we dug holes to go to the bathroom?
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of do. That would probably be what you would do, right? It's like what you do when you go camping. Do you think that's our natural instinct to like dig a hole and then bury it? Because dogs do it. Other animals do it.
Cats do
it. I wonder if that is something that for millennia had been part of our daily routine that then goes away, because in the same way there's some really good things for your health, like squatting, and that ability to go from squatting to standing up is so good for health. Yeah. If you kind of look at that, could that be something, we talk about walking, how even in the future, if we like had the ability to like teleport fucking everywhere, we probably would walk, because there's something very human and biologically like ingrained in us to do that kind of movement. I wonder if digging holes is something that we should be doing like 10 times a day, but aren't. Not 10.
I mean, that's a good theory.
3.
You're good at theories because that makes sense.
I like this.
It just, okay. Well, I'm glad you like it, because maybe you can make me feel better about it. Because I was just like, if your life is that, whether it's boring or, because I understand that they're saying it relieves stress, but I don't think that's why people are doing it. I think they're doing it because they're bored. Because nobody with problems is needing to dig a hole to feel better. I don't know.
Is it like, I think maybe it is kind of a little bit of that. There are elements of like boredom to it, but I think we're bored because we're so stimulated all the time that we have to then.
Maybe it's just that we miss manual labor because now we sit at desks all the time.
I think this feels
and our bodies are designed to move.
Yeah, I think that's it. That we need to go back to these natural, like biological movements.
I mean, if you think about it, it's running for exercise is silly too. So it really doesn't. Right. Now that I'm thinking about it, it is the same idea.
It's doing something that has no. It's like, to what end, It's kind of like you're running, but not to anywhere, not to escape anything. And you're digging, but not to anywhere and not to get anything or do anything. But we need to do these things that are like what we've been doing forever.
You know what's really stupid, though? Maybe this is why I was turned off by it. Because it does feel like a very masculine thing to do. I just can't picture any women be like, you know what I'm going to go do? Dig a hole. But apparently, there was a race during the Cold War to see which country could dig the biggest hole. And it was called Project Mohole. And the Soviets got further. The Kola Super Deep borehole in the Arctic Circle near Norway reached 40,230 feet into the earth before funds ran out in the 1990s, and it went so deep that it inspired hoax reports that engineers had broken through to hell, and that they recorded the screams of tortured souls. The entrance has since been welded shut.
Oh,
so I don't know why we were racing to do that. Was it to get to the core of the earth? I do not know.
And also, like,
it's so weird.
I don't know a lot about geology and
She knows it rocks, though.
I do. But to me, poking holes in things is not a good idea.
That's an interesting motto.
Like, it feels like usually those holes fill up.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, like, you dig a hole at the beach and then the water cut, and then it's like,
I know, this is why I'm afraid of being buried alive.
Like, let's not. And then it feels like a whack-a-mole thing where you're like, or like, I don't know, you're digging a hole over here and all of a sudden you like open a fucking trench in Brazil. I don't need to be taking any chances with that shit.
Well, anyway, if you're digging holes for exercise, I'm sorry I judged you. I've changed my mind. I see the value now. And if you're a woman who's digging holes, then I'll like it even more.
Yeah.
Sarah needs to record her other show now, so we need to wind it down. We do, yeah. So basically, we talked about Bo and how Sarah is struggling, and I hope you can send her some love.
Thanks, guys.
Because I know you will.
Yeah. Your favorite Bo stories. I love hearing those.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll celebrate her life.
Yes, we're going to celebrate her life.
Then we agreed that thumbs downing stuff is hilarious and we're going to do more
the best.
Of it. And, maybe buy a lottery ticket. Maybe this is your lucky week. Yeah. Sarah, maybe after Bo dies, then the universe will want to reward you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thank you all for listening. Thank you always for using our codes and tagging us when you do. It helps us so much. Check out our patreon.com/braincandy. And of course, we'll see you next time.
Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.